Who's your boss? You probably think it's a person, right? But what if I told you that for a lot of us, an invisible boss made of code is already pulling the strings? Yeah. Today, we're diving into this whole idea of shadow AI, how it's quietly reshaping our work lives, and, more importantly, the very real health risks that are coming along for the ride.
So let's just get right into it. The whole idea of a traditional manager, well, it's kind of being taken over quietly by artificial intelligence. And look, this isn't some sci-fi movie plot we're talking about. For literally millions of people, this is their day-to-day reality right now.
And this quote from the Sunday Scout, it just nails it. An invisible boss made of code. We're talking about systems that are making huge decisions at work. You know, things like who gets hired, what your schedule is, even who gets disciplined or fired. And the wildest part? A lot of the time, employees don't even know this system exists.
So, what happens when your manager is just a block of code? I mean, really think about that. There's no human you can talk to, right? No one to hear your side of the story. So where does accountability go? What happens to fairness? And what about the real human cost of all these automated decisions?
Okay, so the tech that's making all of this happen has a name that's, well, pretty blunt. It's called Bossware. So what is it exactly? Well, think of Bossware as any system that's designed for constant, non-stop surveillance. We're talking about software that can track, well, everything. Your keystrokes, every mouse click, even where you are physically. And then it takes all that data and uses it to manage you. All right, let's look at some real-world examples. Take a warehouse. You know those handheld scanners workers use for inventory? Well, now, those scanners are also tracking the workers. They've basically become these little handheld taskmasters, setting an absolutely grueling automated pace for every single thing they do. And the pressure is just immense. There's a story of one worker who ended up with 2 damaged discs in his back. He said flat out that the automated rate was 100% to blame for his injury. Can you imagine that choice? Either you slow down and the system flags you, or you just keep pushing your body until it literally breaks. It gets even more intense in call centers. The surveillance there goes way deeper. The AI isn't just timing how long your calls are. No, now it's being used to measure and score the emotional tone of your voice. It's basically grading your empathy in real time. Just try to imagine that. You're handling these really tough, emotionally draining calls for 10 hours straight. And the whole time, a computer is judging how you sound. One worker put it perfectly, it just makes you feel numb. It's no wonder this creates this constant state of anxiety, especially when an algorithm's score could be the thing that decides whether you even have a job tomorrow. And hey, don't think this is just for people in warehouses or call centers. If you work from home, this is coming for you too. Bossware can turn your home office, your personal space, into this super monitored zone. We're talking software that logs every click, takes screenshots of your screen, and can even snap pictures of you through your webcam. I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? The sheer absurdity of it. You've got a highly skilled software engineer who has to strategize his bathroom breaks in his own house. He's literally dashing down the hall, hoping to get back before his webcam takes a picture and the system automatically docks his pay. It's just, wow.
So, okay, it's pretty clear this constant monitoring and this relentless machine-driven pace, it's not just stressful, it's actually creating some really serious, well-documented health and safety problems.
And yeah, this report cover from the Center for Democracy and Technology pretty much says it all, doesn't it? Warning, Bossware may be hazardous to your health. The link between this tech and our well-being is so direct, it honestly deserves a warning label, just like that. So there's actually a science to this. It's a concept called job strain, and researchers have studied it for decades. It's this really toxic mix of 2 things: super high job demands, think a relentless pace, constant monitoring, and really low job control, meaning you have 0 autonomy. And if you think about it, that is exactly the environment that Bossware is designed to create. And the results? They're pretty alarming. We're seeing more repetitive motion injuries, for sure, higher rates of depression and anxiety, and even, scarily enough, a bigger risk of things like ulcers and even death from cardiovascular problems. And in the most extreme cases, it's led to workers feeling like they have to skip bathroom breaks entirely. I mean, there are documented cases of people using bottles at their desks just to keep up with the pace. It's just not right. So this all leads to a really big question, right? If the damage is so obvious, why aren't our current workplace safety laws putting a stop to this?
Well, the short answer is our laws are way behind the technology. You can see the gaps right here. The OSHA Act, which is supposed to keep us safe at work, has this broad rule about a safe workplace, but nothing specific about work pace or mental health. Then you have the ADA, which is great. It requires reasonable accommodations, but it only kicks in if you already have a qualifying disability. And here's the real kicker. OSHA, the folks who enforce these rules, their policies don't even cover home offices. The laws we have just weren't built for this new reality.
Okay, so it sounds a bit bleak, I know, but it's not hopeless. Despite all these gaps in the law, there is a clear path forward. It's just going to take action from, well, pretty much everyone. If we want to build a future where AI actually helps us at work, it's going to take a balanced approach. You can think of it as a three-legged stool. We need the policymakers, the ones writing the rules. We need the employers, the ones actually using this tech. And we absolutely need the workers, the people who are living with this stuff day in and day out.
So, first up, policymakers. They have got to update the rulebook, plain and simple. That means new OSHA standards that actually deal with things like work pace and job strain. It means figuring out how to enforce safety rules, even in remote offices that use Bossware. And a huge one, they need to require transparency. You should have the right to know when an algorithm is making a decision about your job. Next, employers have a massive part to play. It really comes down to a mindset shift. They need to start thinking of AI as a tool to assist people, not as an invisible enforcer. That means getting rid of systems that automatically punish people for taking a short break. It means talking to workers about what accommodations they need. And maybe most importantly, it means actually bringing employees into the conversation when they're designing and rolling out these systems.
And finally, that brings us to workers themselves. You are not powerless here. It is so important to understand your rights under laws like the ADA and the OSHA Act. Document everything. If you see unsafe workplaces or monitoring, report it. Formally request accommodations if you have a disability. In this new world, knowledge and documentation, they are your best friends. They're your most powerful tools.
So when you boil it all down, it really comes to a choice. The AI itself, it isn't inherently good or bad. It can be an amazing assistant, right? Something that boosts our productivity and makes our jobs better. Or it can be a digital enforcer that just leads to stress, injury, and burnout. The real challenge for all of us is to find that balance between this incredible technology and our basic human needs. We have to make sure AI makes our work lives better, not worse. So the real question is, which future are we going to choose to build?